Hello everybody, welcome to another one of our awesome tech videos. I'm Paige Lippert. I'm one of the consumer technology specialists here at Mid-Continent Public Library, and today I'm going to do a little talk on live TV streaming. So it's not quite cable, but it's close. So we're going to switch over here. So what you're going to need a viewing device. I would normally just put a TV here, but you can actually watch live TV streaming on your mobile devices or your computers and laptops. So it's not necessarily a TV required. You will need a streaming device. Now, the difference here, I'll kind of talk a little bit about what those devices are here in a bit, but the difference being between like a viewing device and a streaming device, the viewing device is literally just for watching, whereas a streaming device is actually what delivers the content. So if you're on a computer or a laptop, a mobile device, your streaming device and your viewing device are likely one and the same. But for some TVs and some other setups, you may need an additional streaming device. And then you're going to need account and subscription information. Nearly all of the things that I'm going to show you today, with the exception of one, do require a subscription of some kind to access the content. And you'll need to be able to log in to get in and view any of your content. And then if you want to watch any of these things on the computers at the public libraries here, you will need your access pass and pin and a set of headphones to get logged in and to watch without disturbing everybody around you. So kind of what is live TV streaming? Because not everybody is super sure what it is. It's a lot like cable. There's just no, with cable you usually have an annual or 2-year contract. Sometimes it's bundled together with your internet and maybe even your phone. Live TV streaming is probably a little bit closer to on-demand services, kind of like Netflix or Hulu. But the shows air like they would with cable. So you would have that same kind of cable channel lineup. So that's how it would kind of run through at certain times of day, on certain days of the week, whereas on-demand is a little bit different. However, some do come with an on-demand service add-on, or the live TV might be the add-on to the on-demand service. With live TV streaming, it is usually a specific set of channels, kind of like cable. A lot of times it is kind of a specific package. You'll start to see similarities between what sort of things are available and what's not. And then you access it through the internet. So your content comes through the internet via a streaming device or your computer, phone, whichever you're using. So instead of having that cable cord running from your wall and attaching to the back of your TV, you are going to have just an internet access through a streaming device. And that will actually be what delivers the content to you. Then I mentioned on demand as a thing versus live streaming or live TV. So on demand, that's going to be your Netflix, most Hulu, Amazon Prime. A lot of people are familiar with those. Typically, seasons of shows are available to watch all at once. You can watch them anytime, 24/7. So as long as you've got an internet connection, you can pop in and watch as many seasons as are available as you want to at any time. Occasionally, shows may premiere one at a time, depending on a specific date, but once it's available, it's available. You can go back and watch it until they remove it from the service, so it's always going to be there. And then some actually allow for downloading or offline viewing. So Netflix, I know, does it. I think Hulu has started. You can actually download some of their content and watch it later on, just without that internet connection. Now, live TV, the difference here between on-demand and live is the shows air as they normally would on that channel. So if it's something is usually on Tuesdays at 7 o'clock, that's when it's there and you're not going to have access to it otherwise. However, some do allow for DVR. So if you're not going to be able to catch it when it does actually air, you can use the DVR to kind of record it. And there are some live TV options that do give you the opportunity to pause and then rewind as needed. Not really so much fast forward because it is actually live. So. And then I did mention streaming devices. So when you are on a computer or your mobile device or a tablet, as long as it's internet connected, it can be used as your streaming device. There are also some TVs that are already wired up and ready to go with an internet connection, or you may have a Roku TV, so it's running that Roku software within the TV itself. Some other devices that people frequently use as a streaming device. There's Amazon Fire Sticks and Fire Cubes, Fire TV. There are Rokus. There are all kinds of different shapes and sizes of Roku. There's the Google Chromecast, and I think there's 2 or 3 of those now. The difference with some streaming devices in the Google Chromecast is that instead of actually kind of hooking your TV up to the internet, essentially, the Chromecast is actually literally casting from another device. So you're going to hook it up to a phone or a laptop, and then essentially using Bluetooth, cast it to your TV. There's also the NVIDIA Shield TV, which is just another streaming device. Your laptops and computers, mobile devices. Most of these that I'm going to show you today do have an app that you can use and access it from there. And there are several game systems. So a lot of the current runs of the PlayStation Xbox, so Xbox One, PS4, whatever the new gigantic Xbox is, the PS5, Nintendo Switch offers a handful of streaming services. And there are a few older ones, so a Wii can sometimes run Netflix. It just depends on the device, but you would have to check and see which ones you have and which ones they can run. So here we are. I have switched over to the internet in general. I wanted to show you a handful of the live TV streaming services that are kind of super popular right now. Some of them are just ones that have been around for a while. They may be well known. Others are kind of new to the scene, but they have gained quite a bit of popularity, either based on just their content or price. So as you see here, I am on AT&T TV. This is the first one that I wanted to show you. It used to be AT&T TV Now. Before that, it was DirecTV Now. It has changed names a handful of times just because parent companies are looking for some way to kind of better market their stuff. So I'm just going to scroll around on this page a little bit so you can kind of see what is there. They're going to give you some information about the service itself, how you want to watch it, any of those cloud options, live TV and on demand. But if you scroll down a little bit further, you actually can come in here and see the different packages that they have. So there are a handful of different packages. You can see prices. These are probably going to be about average across the several services I'm going to show you. Maybe a little all over the place. It just depends on the channels that they have. So some may be less expensive, but they may not have some of the more classically expensive channels. So just keep that in mind. So when you are searching for a live TV streaming service, it's always a good idea to go in and see what channels they have to make sure they have the channels it is that you are going to want to watch. If you're going to subscribe to a huge package, but they're still missing Food Network and that's all you want, then it's probably not going to be your favorite thing ever. But the different packages do come with some different things. Right here you can see I can click on that to bring up the channel lineup if I want to. There are some premium things that you can add. That's kind of what's going on down here, is that it's actually offering some different premium services. So you can add on things like HBO Max. A lot of times you can add in Stars or Encore, Epics, or Epix, things like that that you can add on as additions to your live TV subscription. And the other thing to consider when you are doing this, in addition to kind of what is available to you, is the number of streams that you can have going at once. So different packages only offer a certain number of active streams. So you can have multiple devices that can all be logged in on it. Occasionally, it depends on the service, that multiple devices that have used it in the past, it may start counting towards that, but it's usually active streaming sessions that they're counting. So if you get a service that has 2 streams, so say my sister and I are trying to stream something on 2 different devices, and then my mom wants to log in on a different device. If all 3 of us are trying, usually the last one to try to get in, if we only have 2, is going to be the one that is basically told there are too many sessions right now. Sorry. So keep that in mind when you're looking at these packages. If you know that you're going to be in a household that has lots of different streamers, or if you're sharing content, that you may need to keep track of the number of streams, because if you only have maybe 1 or 2 available, but you have several people streaming at once, or the potential for that, you could run into some issues. So let's switch over. So this one was AT&T. Oh, I do want to point out kind of up here, you can kind of navigate around, and a lot of these, they look a little bit similar. So you have your channel lineup, the packages, any device features. So you want to make sure that certain devices, that like your streaming device works with that particular live TV streaming service. So not every live TV streaming service plays nice with every single streaming device. So that is a huge thing to kind of pay attention to, especially when you are looking to pay for a month-to-month subscription for live TV. And also if you need to purchase that device. So if you already have picked your live TV streaming service, but you need to go get a streaming device, keep in mind which ones work with what. So there are only a handful of things that don't necessarily work all the way across, but it's something to pay attention to. So I'm going to switch over. So this next one I want to show you is Sling. Sling has been around for a good while, and has pretty much been well liked. They have two different, or kind of technically three different packages. They've got blue and orange, and then they've also got the combo. So you can do a combination of blue and orange. So blue has a certain number of channels, orange has a certain number of channels. There is some overlap between them. The prices are the same, so you can see that they're both $35 a month, but you can see that this one is only a 1-device stream, whereas the blue package is a 3-device stream. It does have DVR, but the channels that are on there are different. So the popular channels it's pointing out to you, like NFL Network, HGTV, AMC, Fox News, as opposed to on the orange plan where you've got ESPN and Nick Jr. So they likely have Disney as well, just because ESPN, Disney, those and I think it's Nat Geo, all tend to go together, and they do tend to be slightly pricier channels. So that can happen. The combo package is just all of the channels that they have available. You don't get double the channels, so if both packages have, like you can see TNT and CNN, you're not going to get two different copies of CNN and TNT. You're just going to get the one. But that price is in their packages as you kind of go around and explore. But it is one of those things that you should probably go and check out and make sure that it works on all the devices that you need and has the channels that you're interested in. But it's kind of nice because this one you have two different packages to choose from, and it's possible that maybe the blue one has the channel that you're looking for, so you don't have to mess with the orange package. So the next one, I'm going to switch over. So this one is FuboTV, and this is a live TV streaming service, but it does not always pop up immediately when you are checking out live TV streaming services, because usually AT&T TV shows up. The next couple that I'm going to show you show up. Sling TV shows up. FuboTV is a bit more focused on sports. So for the sports buffs of the world, this one might be your TV streaming service. Just because they have a lot more of those sports-focused channels. They don't have quite as many of your classic cable channels because they focus so hard on sports. And this one just kind of puts them right up front for you. This is their 220 channels available in my area, based on my laptop's location, which may or may not be the Kansas City area. And if you scroll down, you can find they also have a few different plans. You can also get it in Spanish. Actually, they have several foreign language channels, if I remember correctly. So you could check out all of the different plans that they have available. Like several of the other live TV streaming services, they do have some add-on features, so you could add in movie channels and things like that, or some more specific subscription-based sports channels. So if you really want to watch, I don't know, National League Soccer, I think that's what it's called. Major League Soccer, we'll just go with that. If you want to watch that, you may need to get a specific channel to watch it. So just kind of keep that one in mind. Next one, Hulu. I've actually mentioned Hulu a couple of times as an on-demand service, but they also have a live TV streaming service. I'm going to move away from the moving picture there. There we go. It's a little distracting. But they also have a live TV streaming service. So Hulu is one of those where you get kind of the double whammy. You actually get on-demand and live TV when you subscribe to the live TV package. With Hulu, you do not necessarily have to have live TV. You can do just the regular on-demand streaming service. They have packages for all kinds of different things, and you get to really choose what you want to deal with and what you want to have, which is really nice. And you can go in with Hulu and some of these others, you can go in and change your plans pretty frequently, just because they are a monthly subscription as opposed to like an annual or semi-annual contract. It's a monthly subscription, so you cancel anytime, you can start up anytime, you can make changes whenever you need to. Hulu's changes take place immediately, or fairly immediately, and you just usually get billed the difference. So if you upgrade your plan, you may get billed the difference that month. If I remember correctly, if you do downgrade, you don't necessarily get a refund, so just keep that in mind. But here, you can go in here, you can check out the different bundles. You can check out their devices, which remember is super important to make sure that it works on all the devices that you're planning to use it on, and then pricing and anything like that is up here as well. And they have lots and lots and lots of add-ons. So you can add in, you can see Disney Plus and ESPN Plus are two big ones. They have that big bundle. But you can also add that onto the live TV, and several of the different movie channels are available as well. So here we are. This one is YouTube TV, and yes, YouTube, the popular video site. It is the same YouTube. They have their own live TV streaming service. It's just the one plan, which is kind of nice actually. So you pay the flat fee. That's what you get. You get the certain number of channels. So if I scroll down, you can start to see some of those channels. From there, they do have a handful of add-ons. And you can see they've got some bundle options as well. So you could do Hulu and the live TV. Or actually, no, that's comparison. But they do have some of those add-ons as well. So you can pick and choose that way if you would like to. And again, make sure that it's going to work on the devices that you have or that you plan to get. All right. So I'm going to move over. So this one's phylo. This one is probably one of the, I'll go with quieter. It's been in the live TV streaming business for quite a while, but it just hasn't really been one of the super huge big ones, but it does tend to be one of the less pricey. So it is just right now, so as of late April in 2021, it is currently $20 a month. It may change, but they add channels, they subtract channels periodically just to try and keep their prices a little bit lower. They do have some add-ons like stars and epics or epics, so you can see the channels. If I scroll down, you can get more of the information about where it's available and those sorts of things. And the last one I want to show you is actually Pluto TV. So Pluto TV is the only one that I'm going to show you today that is free. So there is no subscription, there is no monthly cost, there's no daily cost, there's no cost. You can come in here and you can scroll through to your heart's content. You may find some channels that are very familiar. You may find some channels you've never heard of, like the Bob Ross channel. Very soothing. So you can sit here and watch all the Bob Ross you want. It's an entire channel dedicated to his show. If I scroll through here, you may see some other ones, other channels, or other TV shows that you've heard of. You may see some channels that look familiar, like there's Home Shopping Network, there's one called Cats, and there's also one called Dogs 24/7, Cats 24/7. So you can do those sorts of things and find all kinds of really cool stuff. If I come up here to reality, you can do that, entertainment. That's where you're actually going to start to see some things that might look familiar to you. So TV Land dramas, things from AMC. They do have a lot of like the kind of standard news channels. So news and opinion, if I click on that. So there's CBSN, so CBS News, CBS in New York. So specifically, they've got CNN on here. So you can do this however you want. It is live. It's live TV. So you're not going to be able to fast forward, rewind. Down here, you can see that my option is to unmute or go full screen. I don't have options to kind of go in and pause. There's no DVR, but it's completely free, and there's a ton of stuff in here, and they are constantly adding channels, which is really cool. Last time I played with Pluto, they were like, I don't know, 60 channels, and now I think there's well over 120. There's just tons of different ones. A lot of them are specific TV shows, which is cool. The nice thing here is that they also have on demand. So if I click on demand, I'm going to give it a bit to load. Maybe. The internet's not playing nice. There we go. So you can come in here, and if you didn't want to watch the live TV, you can come in here and watch a movie or a handful of TV shows that they do have as on-demand services. So that's really nice. All right, so quick recap. We talked a little bit about what live streaming is, and that's essentially that it is an online version of kind of standard cable. So all of your stuff that you want to watch airs as it would on regular cable TV, as opposed to on-demand streaming services that give you just full seasons to watch at any point in time. It's literally you can watch it on demand at any time. So that's the biggest difference there, kind of what it is between live TV and on demand. Otherwise, it's just video content that is delivered to your TV through the internet as opposed to through that cable cord. And then the kind of how you access it with your accounts and your subscription. So it's a monthly subscription. In many cases, you can cancel at any time. Sometimes you can modify your subscriptions in the middle of a month or any time that you need, as opposed to cable where you may have a annual or semi-annual contract, something along those lines, which may add in even more bundles with like internet and phone. Then we have the streaming devices. Those are just going to be the devices that you need to actually connect your TV or your streaming viewer to the internet and therefore to your streaming services that you choose. You may or may not need an additional device if you're using your computer or a laptop, mobile device, tablet. You may not need anything extra. And then there are all kinds of streaming services. So the ones I talked about today were YouTube TV, AT&T TV, Hulu Live or Hulu Live TV, FuboTV, Sling TV, phylo or phylo TV, and then Pluto, which I focus on a little bit because, hey, it's free, and folks do like inexpensive. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you would like to watch more of our videos, please check out all of our new stuff. It premieres every Tuesday at 2, every Wednesday at 1, and every Friday at 1 on the MCPL 360 Facebook page. You can also watch all of our premieres and any of our past old videos on YouTube. Just search for MCPL Mo or MCPL-Mo. And while you're there, check out the MCPL Consumer Tech Resources playlist. And yeah, go out there, check out all of the different live TV streaming services. I really encourage you to kind of poke around, do some research, find what works for you. Cable or cutting the cord or cable cutting is not always for everybody, but it's an option out there. And with all the live TV streaming services, you might find something that you like a little bit better. So go out there, do your research, and have some fun. Have a good week.